So today we've got an MMA tier list on UFC champions. As you can see, the options that we have are S tiers for best, A great, B bad, C mid, D ass, and E. How did they even win the belt? So let's get right into it. The first champion we have is the greatest UFC bantamweight of all time, Aljamain Sterling. Where will we put Aljo? I think he has to go into great, to be honest. A tier. This guy beat Petr Yan twice, beat TJ Dillashaw, who some people argue is the greatest UFC bantamweight of all time. He beat Henry Cejudo again, who some people consider to be a top five of all time. I think he has to go in the A tier. This guy was a great champion. He was fairly active, and the names on his resume are insane. So yeah, Aljo starting off strong in A tier. Next up, we have got Triple C. I feel like because he was a two division champion, you kind of have to put him in grade. Uh, is he above Aljo though? See, I'm an Aljo fan, probably the only Aljo fan, so maybe I am being biased here. I'd maybe just put him behind. Wait, actually, will I? Let me see. Nah, in terms of champion, Henry Cejudo has to go above him. Two division champion, he won that belt by beating arguably the greatest of all time in Demetrius Johnson. Yes, that fight was controversial, could have gone either way, but it went to Demetrius Johnson. He then beat TJ Dillashaw, who yes was moving down a division, but this guy was juiced to the gills and he finished him in the first round. Then moved up and fought a killer in Marlon Moraes. Yes, some people are probably going to laugh that I said killer in Marlon Moraes, but this guy was on an insane run at the time Henry fought him. And the way Henry won the belt by beating him was really impressive. The guy had to adapt. Marlon was much bigger than Henry in that matchup, and that was a great win. Yeah, his resume just is better if you think about it. And he beat Dominic Cruz. Yes, you can say it's a controversial stoppage. I don't personally agree with that. But again, some people argue Dominic Cruz is the greatest bantamweight of all time. And Henry Cejudo stopped him. So yeah, I'm going to have to put my bias aside and put Henry Cejudo in at A tier above Aljo. Next, we have got a guy who is obviously in S tier. Anderson Silva, top five of all time. Don't want to hear it. There is no dispute. This guy is top five. In his prime, this guy was insane. Honestly, this guy's just, he is one of the GOATs. There's not much more you can say about that. People don't now look down on him because of his fall off near the end of his career in MMA, and obviously losing to Jake Paul doesn't look great. But go back and watch this guy in his prime. Watch him against Forrest Griffin, sorry, I couldn't pronounce it there. Watch him against Chael Sonnen, especially in their first fight. Chael just to the gills. Anderson Silva losing, pulls that like triangle out of nowhere. Then he finishes Chael Sonnen in their next matchup. This guy's a GOAT. Honestly, S tier. There's no disputing it. Next up, we have got Charles Oliveira. Let me see. Honestly, yeah, no, I don't want to overcrowd A. This might change, but Oliveira is in a B. This guy beat Michael Chandler for the belt. Let's be honest, Michael Chandler is overrated, and he does get that Dana White privilege. I can't lie, but still a good win. Beating Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, insane wins. But yeah, he did lose pretty easily to Islam Makhachev, and I just think if you look at the other guys' resumes above him, Anderson Silva is obviously clear. Henry Cejudo, two division champion, beat Demetrius Johnson, beat TJ Dillashaw, beat Dominic Cruz. That's actually an insane thing. And then you've got Aljo who beat Yan, Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw. It's just a better resume in my opinion. So yeah, for the meantime, I'm gonna have to have Charles Oliveira in a B tier. Next up, we've got Glover Teixeira, a legend, but this guy honestly wasn't a great champion. He beat Jan Blachowicz, which was really impressive at like 40 years of age, and nobody's seen it coming. This guy had a real resurgence in his career near the later stage of it. Great win. But yeah, lost to Yuri. Then he got beat up by Jamal Hill. Much younger guys, yes. Glover was really, he honestly was that old. I was surprised he was still fine at that stage. But to win the belt at the age he did and who he beat, yeah, This guy has to be in mid tier. I can't put him in the ass. Next up, we have got DC. Now, a part of me feels like DC should be in best because this guy is like, honestly, in my opinion, he's top five. But nah, fuck it, he's going in at S tier. This guy, two division champion. He knocked out the greatest heavyweight of all time in Stipe Miocic. Yes, he lost the two other fights after that, but this guy defended against Derek Lewis. Look at what he done at like heavyweight, and everyone's gonna say, yeah, John Jones beat him. Yeah, John Jones was just to the gills. This guy was a drug cheat. Everybody knows. I still do have John Jones as the greatest of all time because, like I said before, no one in this sport is clean. Second greatest light heavyweight of all time. He's just a goat of MMA in my opinion, and I'm gonna have to put him in at S tier, definitely behind Anderson Silva. Next up, we have got Demetrius Johnson. Now, this is weird because in terms of all time, I have him above Anderson Silva. I think he's just a much more complete, a much better mixed martial artist. But in terms of title defenses and as a champion, I mean, Silva does have the better names on the resume. Yeah, I don't know if I've contradicted myself there, but I hope you can kind of see where I'm coming from. But yeah, Demetrius Johnson, in terms of all round MMA skill set as a fighter, I do have him above Anderson Silva. But the names that Silva had on his list as a champion, I feel like he does get the bump over Demetrius Johnson. But yeah, no, then that kind of goes against the DC thing, doesn't it, really? Nah, I'm happy with this. I think I've explained it well enough. Let me see. I'll maybe have to explain it a bit better. But yeah, that's the way I'm going for it at the minute. Israel Adesanya. Let me see. Love him or hate him, and I am on the boat of hating this guy. I just don't like him. I find him a cringy, weirdo, annoying. Honestly, there's not many likable qualities about him. But this guy was a great champion. Lapped his division multiple times. Yeah, it's hard not to have this guy there. Honestly, this guy is arguably the second best. You could argue this guy's the greatest middleweight of all time at a push. Maybe I wouldn't tend to argue it. I still have Silva, but when people make that argument, it's not really out there to be honest. If you look at it, look at the stats, things like that, who they've beat. Yeah, he was a great champion. He's a weirdo, dog touching creep, but he was a great champion. Michael Bisping. Um, I really don't want to put this guy into how to even win the belt. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put him in the ass tier because I think how he win the belt is a bit disrespectful. He beat Luke Rockhold on short notice, great win. But then he defended against Dan Henderson. Come on, and Dan Henderson smashed his face up. No, he has to be an ass. I'm sorry, Michael Bisping, UK pioneer, but this guy is an ass. This is based on these guys as champions, by the way. Ass. Jan as a champion was ass. I'm sorry. He didn't defend. He did not defend. Well, no. Maybe ass is a bit out there because of who he beat to win the belt. But no, it's not ass actually. Jan was ass. I don't know what I keep randomly right. Jan was ass as a champion. I'm sorry. He got himself DQ'd against Aljo, then lost the Aljo. Yeah, as a champion, he was ass. As an all-round mixed martial artist, as his fighting style, I am a big Petr Yan fan. I do think he's been unlucky in some decisions, especially the O'Malley one. But this is purely on as a champion, ass. Next up, John Jones, clear. This guy's clear. There's not much that needs to be said about this. This guy is the greatest of all time. He's obviously going to be at the top of S tier. The guys are the best. Alexander Volkanovski, great. Great fighter. Honestly, the greatest featherweight of all time. Beat Max Holloway 3 times. Beat Aldo. Beat Ortega. Brian Ortega's the most overrated fighter of all time, in my opinion. But he beat him. He beat Yair Rodriguez. He's going to beat Ilia Topuria. Great champion. He's just slightly missing out on the mark of S tier. But Alexander Volkanovski, great champion. And I don't think he will lose a featherweight belt. I think it'll take for him to vacate and move up. Next, we have got Leon Edwards. Now, this is early in his career. This guy's just became champion. But who he beat to become champion was so impressive, and what he done in the third fight was really impressive. And it's against Kamaru Usman, everybody knows, one of the greatest of all time, the second greatest welterweight of all time, on his way to becoming the greatest welterweight of all time. And if he had have beat Edwards, he would have been the greatest welterweight of all time, in my opinion. But anyway, Leon Edwards, I think he will at some stage be above Oliveira. I do think he is going to beat Colby Covington, and when he does beat Colby Covington, then I would put him above Oliveira. But as I said, he's only got one title defense, an amazing title defense. But I think B for now is fair enough. And the last one for this part, we probably will make a part 2 of this, but right now we have got Francis Ngannou. Hear me out. This guy knocked out Stipe Miocic, the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. He KO'd him. He then went on and beat Ciryl Gane, who at the time was unbeaten, and nobody really gave Ngannou a chance. Plus, Ngannou's knees were completely shot at going into that matchup. He kind of had to revert to a style that we've never seen from him before in wrestling. And I honestly think this guy would still be heavyweight champion at this moment in time if he didn't leave and got stuff sorted with the UFC. So yeah, he's in good tier. I'm happy enough with this list, to be honest. Comment below whether you agree or disagree. I probably will do a part 2 to this, but yeah, like I said, comment below whether you agree or disagree. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you again in the next one.